Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernardman, EXE.
And I'm Trishwoman.exe.
And today we'll be continuing our coverage of Mega Man Battle Network, playing until after defeating ColorMan. But before we get started, how was everyone's week?
I already talked about most of the interesting stuff that happened this week on Victory Lap, because we recorded Victory Lap a few days after the regular episode, and so I talked about how I've picked up relearning French because I studied French in college and got quite good at it, and then I stopped studying it and got quite bad at it. So I'm relearning it, and it's fun.
Hell yeah. There is one big thing that I know that me and you are excited about that has happened since last time we recorded, and their name is Pombon.
Pombon!
Pombon!
I mean, Gekwa and Brout are pretty good too, but Pombon, come on.
Yeah.
No, okay, listen, Pombon's very good, but no, I'm still Water Starter for life, and as I found a post going over the generations, Water Starter evolution lines have been getting more feminine and more cunty every generation. And this is the first stage. It's the first stage. Where can we go from here? It's already... Gekwa already looks like she's gonna make fun of your choice of eyeliner or something.
Yeah, so Pokemon Gen 10 has been announced, and I read the leaks a while back, and I was so excited, and I have wanted to be telling everyone about it, because in the leaks, it was Pokemon Wind and Wave, so no S's, and I think that that's better, because it's Wind version and Wave version. I think that that's better, but I have to face the facts of what it actually is. But I just read a little bit of the leaks. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be so fucking good. I can't wait. And it now indeed does look very, very good, and I cannot wait.
And it's supposed to be Indonesia inspired, was it?
Mm-hmm.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I think that's what the leaks said. I mean, technically that could be inaccurate. They didn't make it terribly clear in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does look nice.
But I'm excited. I think the graphics look good.
Oh yeah,
good water in this game.
Such good water in this game, and we can dive again for the first time in a very long time.
Oh, it's true. It's very cool.
First time in a 3D game, right?
In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because it's a remake of the OG, you could go in there, but depends on how 3D you consider those games.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the games had fixed camera angles for most of the 3D games anyway, so they were kind of spiritually 2D. But yeah, I'm excited. I just hope it's not a technical disaster at launch like Scarlet and Violet were, which I doubt they will be.
Yeah. Especially because we were all expecting, because this is the 30th anniversary, we were expecting them to rush Game Freak again and make them release it this year. And they said it'll be releasing next year. They already got an extra year of work on it. So it's probably going to be great.
Yeah, all this time I've been saying they need to give Game Freak more time and resources for Pokemon. And now it looks like Game Freak is getting more time than we expected. And I'm like, but I want it now. I want the new Pokemon.
Yeah.
I want Pombon.
But besides Pokemon, anything else happened with you this week, Bernard?
I don't think anything that I want to talk about on the podcast, but
cool.
Yeah.
Cool beans. What about you, Trish?
I'm in a similar state where a lot of things have happened, but they're not things I want to talk about on the podcast. I've had a week, y'all. But not necessarily a bad way, just in a weird mixed good and bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I started a new book that's good. I reached a point, so I've still been reading. I think I talked about the podcast before. I've been reading this book, Their Accomplices Wore Robes, about how the Supreme Court played a vital role in ruining the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments and ending the promise of Reconstruction. It's a really good book. I hit the end of part 1, and the book was overdue, and I was like, I'm going to check this back in. I will check it out again after I've read 4 more books, so I'm going to read some fiction again and get back to this later. And right now, I just started. I say I just started. I'm like 2/3 the way through it already because it's not a huge book, but it's a new book called. I need to look up what the. I can look at my purse, but I'm not going to do that. It's a book called Nightshade and Oak. It is a cute little by Molly O'Neill. It is a story set during the like Roman invasion of and settling in of the British Isles, following the protagonist is a Welsh god of death named Malt. She has a longer name, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it because Welsh names are weird. But she in the process of like, she ends up accidentally being turned human by a wayward spell, and on the quest to try to regain her godhood, teams up with the woman who did this to her, who is the daughter of Boudica from history, famous British queen.
I thought you meant from the Dragon Ball Z games on the PS2.
No, and it's gay. It's very cute. I'm really enjoying it.
Hell yeah.
It's been nice to focus and enjoy that and not have horrible thoughts looking at news.
Yeah.
This country wants to be dead, y'all.
Yeah. Shit sucks, man.
Yeah.
But it's something that sucks a lot less much so, because I have to segue from that to talk about my week.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have been working on this really small, simple web app for a team at work. It's just a client-facing application for their thing, like applying to do a thing application, not application as in a program. And so it's just like a simple little form, and I went through and I did that shit, and it was really, really good and awesome. And so I turned it in, and they were like, none of this works, and I couldn't recreate any of their issues. So I asked what they were doing, and they're like, oh, we were testing it from our iPhone on Safari because a lot of people do it remote, would be doing it on mobile. And I'm like, that makes total sense. Let me just look up what I need to do to make it compatible with iOS Safari. And fuck iOS Safari. It's stupid. It doesn't follow any of the fucking rules of the internet. And like, I hate it. It's so bad. I had to, like, every other website, every other browser, I mean, when you use the date picker on a website and you put in your date, it stores it as year, month, day with hyphens. Easy. Internationally known, in fact. It is in fact called the ISO, and the I in ISO stands for international. I forget what the other means, but it is a very standardized format. iOS stores it as February 8th, 2020.
What?
And it's fucking, I hate it so much. So I had to completely design my own internal date picker because I don't need all of the stuff that comes with ISO dates. And to deal with all of that stuff, there's a lot of like overhead in JavaScript. And if iOS isn't going to play with any of that nicely, I'm just going to ignore that and just make my own version. And so I was making my own version of it. And then iOS, if I type in into a form and I type in the number 20, because it's like how much money do you make an hour, and I write in 20 and I send it to the server. Everywhere else is like, this is a number, so we can tell that this is a number. So when you ask us to do addition or subtraction, we can just on the fly turn it into a number because you sent it from a form that only accepts numbers. So we're going to do that. iOS is like, bro, that's a string. I don't know what to do with that. And so all of my number-based form things weren't working. And it was hell. And on Thursday afternoon, I sorted it out. I made everything look pretty and be functional. And I turned it into them. And I was like, let me know if there's anything not working, because I know we're supposed to be going live with this on Monday. And so I want to be able to catch it as soon as I can. And then at 4:30 on Friday, they give me a huge laundry list of things that weren't working instead of telling me at any point before that would have been great. And so I then had to do more iOS Safari related bullshit, like basically after work on Friday. And it sucked and I hated it. But hopefully it's working now. It's probably not, because iOS really, really sucks.
Man, I remember fucking 13 years ago when me and some people were trying to make an iOS app, and it was just such a nightmare dealing with iOS every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Apple with every fiber of my being. And
Their devices look sleek.
yeah, sure. That doesn't make me like them more. That actually, I think, makes me like them less because of how horribly they interact with everything. The number of times I've been doing tech help for people at jobs, especially my current job, and I run into barriers because they're on fucking iOS, constant. I hate it.
Yeah, I have recently found that It Just Works also, by the way, was thrown out when Steve Jobs died. It Just Works has not been how they handle things in a very long time. But that whole idea of the iPhone, I hate more. I hate something that is really, really pretty and polished, even though iOS 26 doesn't even have the polish anymore. But like pretty and polished, but doesn't let you do a lot. Versus I will be in some open source thing on Linux and have to fork the distro myself to fix a bug so that it'll even run on my machine, and it's janky. And if I type in the wrong thing, my computer will crash. I'm way more into that sort of thing because like I know what I'm getting into. With iOS, It feels like, oh, I'm stepping into the future. What do you mean I can't access my files on iOS? And even now that they've added a file browser, it's not actually a file browser. It is an interface with a SQL database, and the SQL database retrieves the files from the Unix file browser for you. You still can't talk to your actual file browser on iOS.
Every time I'm going to so to print something out at our library, like the first step if you're doing it from your phone is you have to save whatever you're trying to print onto your phone as its own file.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people it isn't. And iOS, it is so frequently an issue, especially because like it's usually fine if they save it on their iCloud drive. It's still, the website's still able to grab it up, but it is still just the fact that's always the default and there's nothing actually saved on the phone. It makes me want to tear my hair out.
Yep.
No, because I'm sorry, that means you don't have anything on your phone. That cloud, that's not yours.
No.
That's Apple's. They can make it disappear whenever they feel like.
Yeah.
Did I told you that our new director wants to move all of the shit from an internal server thing that every computer can access to being on Google Drive, right?
Oh my God.
And
I say wants to. She's already done it.
No.
She did it 15 minutes ago.
Me and my supervisor have just been being like, why is it like this? It's so bad. Especially because you can't just, like, people seem to think, like, oh, I'll just take this Google Doc and I'll put on Google Docs. Or I'll take this window doc and I'll put on Google Docs. It'll be fine. And it's like, no, the formatting is different. And there's a lot of things you can do in Windows like Windows Word, Microsoft Word really easy that you can't do on Google Docs.
At all.
It's so infuriating.
Yeah. Google Docs is really good if you just need to write a paper or you just need to do a little bit of stuff in to make a quick spreadsheet. But the moment you try to power use anything, you realize they can't do jack shit.
Yep.
And I hate it. I hate it so much. Otherwise, remember how last week I said that I had some good news? I was just waiting because the person that I was waiting on for the good news wasn't there yet. Well, they ended up calling out for 5 straight business days.
Oh my God.
And so now that meeting has been pushed until Monday, because if it happened this week, there's stuff that would expire at the end of the month. And so we want it to give us a full month and not just a day or two. So good news coming on Monday. Hopefully so. And I can talk about it next week, but we'll see.
Are they like, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, ish. I mean, I have seen them on camera since they've got back, and they seem to be fine. So as much as I can say, but yeah, when they got back, they were like, yeah, I had a couple unforeseen days out of the office. And I'm like, a couple? That's a lot more than a couple. You were gone for a week, my dude. So good news probably coming next week, and I am very excited to be able to talk about it and not in caged terms. I'm also very excited to talk about Mega Man Battle Network, unless you had something else to say, Bernard.
I was just going to say something I'm very excited about. I finally got bias lighting for my external monitor in my recording closet that always hurt my eyes, and now my eyes don't hurt anymore.
Hell
Yay!
Yeah. Love this for you.
But speaking of bias lighting, Dr. Light is a character in the Mega Man franchise.
Bernard, one of these days you're going to be as good as me and Trish at coming up with shitty segues. I'm very, very impressed with how bad that segue was.
Thank you.
So let's talk about what happened this week.
Okay, we returned to... Wait, where we stopped last week? Let's see, we covered the arson ovens, and the incel tried to hypnotize kids, and the online rock that stopped a real-world subway. Oh, yeah, Lannis tried to go visit his dad. This will surely be simple and easy. Lance's father works at Government Complex, though I find it quite government simple.
The only two functions at this complex are water and science.
Yeah, this building, and I should say, as far as I can recall, only this game, every other game in the series, it's not like this. This game, it is cut in 20. There's one half of it, which is the local water management, and the other half is SciLab, which is some government science lab institute thing. And Dr. Ikari promised his son a power-up for MegaMan.exe if he visits. So we go there, and we head up to his office, and he is not there. Apparently, he is busy elsewhere, and so we just leave him a message, which we do by logging on to our dad's PC and going up to a program inside of it to hand over a digital version of a message to him so it will be shared with Dr. Hikari when he gets back to his computer. This is the most inefficient internet I've ever seen, and I both love it and hate it.
Are there not like post-it notes at this office? Just like write something down and stick it on his monitor?
No. So you head back to AC/DC Town where you live, and like immediately after leaving the subway, you get an email from your dad being like, "Oh, whoops! Sorry, I missed you, son. Don't worry. I managed to compress that upgrade so it can be sent over email. So here you go." Which, like, sure, that is nice, but I think Len was looking forward to actually seeing his dad because so far the vibe has been that this man spends more time at SciLab than he does at home.
Yeah, did you find a way to compress a parent's love and attention into an email? Because I think Lan needs that as well.
So
there's
we cut
an
to
NPC dialogue later this week where Lan's mom is like, "Man, why does your dad have to work even on Sundays?" And I'm like, "Oh my god."
So we cut now to 1 month later. Lan heads to school on a Saturday, which is hell, and bit by bit it becomes clear that something is afoot. There's no water. Not just in Lan's house, but like all over town and at school. And they say that there's apparently this issue is affecting the entire larger metropolitan area. Yai also mentions that some kid in Class B is missing today, and if you leave the school, there is a car parked outside that if you interact with it, has muffled sounds. Probably nothing. Don't worry about it. And right beside that car is a new shop, Higsby's Chip Shop. That motherfucker is still here, and now you can buy chips from him. He has these machines, which are basically slot machines where you trade in chips you have for random ones. And he has a machine so you could rebattle Numberman.exe to get his Navi chip, if you feel like it. It's not very good, but if you want to, you can, I guess.
I had some fun with Numberman's chip, but it always landed on 3 for me. Just every fucking time.
Asking around, we find someone from the waterworks who is investigating, and Yai emails us to let us know that missing kid actually kidnapped. Someone napped that kid. It's too bad we have no clues, and we can't solve this right now. So we head over to the government complex, and from there the waterworks. But of course, because of this crisis, they are swamped, and they have no interest in letting just some random kid in. When you head to the desk with a receptionist, you find another kid is there named Chod. And yes, Bernard, you've said that his name should be pronounced something else because it's French for hot. I'm not doing that.
I learned a while back that I can't make you care how things are pronounced.
Good. Chod is a professional net battler, which basically makes him a young internet cop. And he's investigating this case, and I would describe Chod's vibes as somewhere between Miles Edgeworth and Byakuya Togami, by which I mean he is an arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
His hair also kind of reminds me of Proto Man's helmet. I wonder if that's important.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Anyway, we head to our dad's lab again, and once again, he's not here for some reason, even though this is his lab where he's supposed to be working. But one of his lab coats is there, and it has an extra ID card. So we just take that, and we can use that to get into the waterworks.
Man, I have worked at places that are probably less secretive than a government research institution. And if I had left my computer unlocked or left my ID lying around, I would have been fired. Oh my gosh. The first trailer for Resident Evil Requiem, the main character is sitting at her desk at the FBI, and she's called into an office, and she gets up and leaves without locking her computer. Drove me mad.
Same.
Anyway, go on.
So yeah, we poke around the waterworks area, and we'll quickly find that one of these scientists has a unique sprite, so he's important. His name's Dr. Freud. When you ask about the situation, he says that they're working on fixing it, don't worry about it, and offers you to take a tour. Wrong move, fucko, we're JRPG protagonists. You're so screwed at this point. So we head down the elevator, and after just, lightly poking around, land in MegaMan.exe, discuss the situation, decide clearly something weird is going on here. So they decide to hide in Dr. Hikari's lab until everyone has gone home for the day, which is apparently at noon because it's a Saturday. I want to call bullshit on that happening while this emergency is going on, but actually that does sound like a utility company in my experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, well, they say they'll wait around until 12 and until everyone's gone, and I'm like, so are they waiting until midnight? But then, it still appears to be day. I'm like, is just everyone out for lunch? I don't know.
They took a half day on Saturday, apparently.
Yeah,
Good
so
for them.
I am a co-signer on my brother's lease on his apartment in Texas, and so I get emails all the time when they're doing stuff, and the water company there fucks up, and they have. Just so everyone knows, we're turning the power off for an emergency maintenance on the water line. And I get one 3 times a week. I'm like, stop hiring that guy to fix it. He doesn't know what he's doing. It will break in 2 days. And he works with this water company, apparently.
You need to get some random 11-year-old to hack into your water program and fix it.
That makes sense.
So we head back into the waterworks now that everyone's gone, and we jack into the system. Though, when we first try to, some hot woman walks up and asks what we're doing and then tells us to leave. But she doesn't stay around to make sure that we do that. Anyway,
Yeah,
the local net is... the local net is frozen. No, I don't mean it's taking a while to load. I mean it's full of ice puzzles. Immediately after entering, we run into Chod's net navi, protoman.exe, who is of course based on Proto Man, aka Blues, from the classic Mega Man series. He has a sword for some reason in this, which as far as I can recall is not a classic Proto Man thing, but whatever.
No, it's a reference to Zero. Zero was a reference to Proto Man, and so here you have both of them together since there's nothing else from X in here at all, as far as I know.
We immediately mistake him for a World 3 Navi, and that offends him. And also, Okay, so I thought I was just misreading it every time because I was skipping through the dialogue too quickly, but no. Protoman.exe, when talking to Chod, his operator, calls him Load Chod, which I thought at first could be a reoccurring typo, but it feels more likely it's supposed to be an internet joke. But calling someone a load is usually an insult. Anyway, Chod...
I don't know if it was actually written as Lord at any particular point, but the first few times, at least, my brain read it as Lord. But there was definitely a time when I was like, wait, did he just call it? And I had clicked through the dialogue box as soon as I had read it, and then, like, I had a record scratch moment of, like, wait, did that say Load?
That's the same thing. It's so weird. Anyway, Chod and Protoman.exe says that we're losers and we should leave or we'll get deleted. So we don't do that. Progressing through the area, we round into a clown Navi, who is obviously not important. No. What is important is eventually we get to where there are these two polar bear viruses who shoot ice blocks at us, and when we take them out, it seems to solve the problem. So everything's good. Right? Wrong. We head back to AC/DC Town, and yes, the water's flowing again, but unfortunately, the water filtration was also busted, so what's coming out of the faucet is this, like, thick purple goo? Because that's how water treatment plants work. Some guy comes up and is so thirsty, he drinks from it and, I guess, dies?
He keels over, unclear what his state is.
I feel there's other cases later this segment where people definitely die. So I'm going to assume. Anyway, Chod calls us up and tells us that it's all our fault because we fucked up and unfroze things. And then Yai emails us to let us know that Kidnapped Kid has the last name Freud. We can find him in a nearby car because we should have been able to find him this whole time. And he gives us a program for a digital handle, which we can then take into the system and use on a faucet that we couldn't use before because it didn't have one. There's some more dungeon.
I love the, like, entire suspension of disbelief of understanding how any sort of electronics work for this to make any sense, where it's like, oh, you need to go and specifically get a program that will let you create specifically a handle to turn this off instead of just, like, unplugging a machine or something.
No.
And also importantly, the kid gives you a message for Dr. Foy.
Yes, he does give you a message for Dr. Freud. There's some more dungeon. And then we find Dr. Freud's Navi, IceMan.exe, once again, based on a classic Mega Man 1 Robot Master. He has been forced into doing all of this to try and save his son from World 3, and he's just too freaked out to listen. We try to tell him that, like, we already saved him, it's fine. So we gotta fight him now. Protoman.exe is also here, and Chod mentions that Freud and his Navi are just diversions, while World 3 is trying to take the Aqua program, which is a thing that Land recognizes as being one of the super programs. Okay, so we beat up IceMan.exe. It's not very hard. And then we tell Dr. Freud that his kid is safe and give him the message, and then the water is made okay again. And then we find Protoman.exe trying to corner the Navi who was behind all of this, ColorMan.exe, the clown-looking one, who is an original Net Navi who has no predecessor in the older games. Oh, and that hot woman, that's his operator, Miss Mad. I love her. I want to kiss her on the mouth. They bail and get away, and we cut away to see Dr. Wily, leader of World 3, asking his henchmen why they've been failing so much recently. They tell him about Lan, but he does not give a shit. He just wants results. They've gotten the fire program from Lan's oven, I guess, and the aqua program from the waterworks, but there is still more they need. Matt offers to take care of Megaman.exe and Lan to make sure they never interfere again, because she has a plan. We get another time jump, and now it's getting close to Yai's birthday, and Mail wants to take Lan shopping so they can get her something in the local city of Dentown. So, you need to go to the email from Mail, read it, and then choose to compose a response. And then you need to access Mail's local internet and drop off your response with roll.exe. We know regular email's a thing. I don't know why we don't just use it, but this is what we have to do.
I chose the respond option. Then I went to the metro line, and I was like, "Where the fuck is mail?" And eventually, I think I was just like, I went back home and got on the net because I was like, "There's probably some stuff I missed. I'll just wander around." And then I happened to go to mail's local area, and I saw Roll, and I was like, "Hey, Roll," and Mega Man was like, "Oh, hey, here's the response to that email," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, this is the future that Metaverse Tech Bros want, and it is disgusting. No matter how quickly you do all of that, you'll still end up late, but Mail has to go bring something to her grandma's, so you can go ahead and she'll meet you later by bus. That turns out to be a very bad idea, because once you get to Dentown, something happens where the internet-controlled traffic lights start going haywire, causing a ton of car crashes. There has to be multiple fatalities. I see cars explode.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's World 3, of course, and Mad lets everyone in the town know that, yes, she is behind this, but she will sell people a program to solve the issue that she has created for a bunch of money. Classic capitalism.
Because if there's one thing that never causes car crashes, it's full self-driving.
Yes. Mm-hmm. There's actually an NPC you can talk to who's like, I wonder what's safer, manual driving or remote, like, internet driving. And I'm like, really, man? You're wondering after this? I mean, manual driving is extremely unsafe, but come on.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, you have to go into the traffic network and do a bunch of switch puzzles that change things red or blue as you go through, so you can activate different paths. You have to make them red in the end, so you can change the signal to red.
Don't forget, you get into the incredibly important prevents people from crashing traffic thing by plugging in your toy phone into a crossing walk sign. That's where you jack in.
Yeah, anyone can do it. Anyone can do
it.
Eventually, things get worse because it turns out Mail's bus is not only struggling with all this traffic, but it has gone out of control and keeps speeding up faster and faster. And Mad calls to let you know that this is a thing that she did. And also, she's going to make it fucking explode.
She says something weird like the gas goes in reverse or something, which I think is some weird mistranslation of it's running down the gas, and when it reaches 0, it'll explode. But it says I have a screenshot, but I don't have it with me right now on a device I have on hand. But it's weird.
Yeah, listen. I like this game. There's some weird translation choices.
Okay, so speaking of, when you go to Dentown, is that a mistransliteration of downtown?
No, it's Dentown.
It is Dentown. It's supposed to be Dentown? Because I was like, are we going downtown and this is just not...
No, it's a place called Dentown.
Isn't that a pun on electricity or something? Isn't Denki?
I think so. Yeah, Denki. Yeah, because Denki is electricity in Japanese.
I believe. I'm double checking.
Anyway, you start going around, changing the lights red to slow the bus down one after another, and then after you've blocked it off, you jack into the bus itself, and you battle ColorMan.exe. In the aftermath, Mail and Lan are cute, and their navies tease them about it. Okay. We get another scene after that of Wily chastising his goons, and he tells him it is Count Zap's turn to do his stuff next. We'll find out whatever that is next week. And maybe we'll even meet Lan's father face-to-face for the first time.
Who can say?
Also finish the game!
Yeah, there was a thing that happened with portable games around this time where the first time you go to adapt something into a portable Pokemon ripoff, you make the game like 4 seconds long. The first of Digimon World DS, I was prepared for like, okay, we have now gotten out of the intro and we can start playing the game, and the credits rolled. And I'm like, oh shit, this is real short, and it's the same one in this game.
Yeah, which is weird because Pokemon Red is like at least 25 hours.
Yeah, it's bizarre that it was only like Game Boy Advance and DS times where the first one is just stupid short for no reason.
Anyway, we're gonna have some memorable moments to talk about.
Yeah, we are.
After some music.
I think I already mentioned a lot of my memorable moments because I got excited.
That's fair.
Which
There's a lot to be
happens
excited about.
sometimes.
So, I know that this is just foreshadowing for the fact that Mega Man is a special boy, and that's why he's the main character of this series, and his dad is the one who made Mega Man. But why did he make his Outlook program have emotions? When you talk to the different navis in his computer, he's like, yeah, Dr. Hikari gave us emotions. And it's like, I don't need my email inbox to like be sad. That's not something I need.
There are so many NPCs when you have jacked into things who are like, yeah, you know how when you try, I don't remember this as the exact example, but it's something like, you know, when you try to change the channel and the remote doesn't work, that's because the channel switching program was slacking off. And I'm like, what the fuck?
So I was prepared when we started playing this game. I was like, oh, this is going to feel so much different in the world of like AI and AI agents and always on technology and iPad kids, and it's going to feel different. I wasn't expecting it to be a biting criticism of how AI makes everything worse, but here we are. every time they describe it, and they because they're writing about the near future, they write it as if it's something cool. Like, this is a cool thing that's going to be where you have to physically go to your friend's house to drop off an email so that they can read it instead of just talking to your friend while you're there. Is bizarre and so funny.
You can access your friend's house through your computer, but you still have to like your
go through the internet.
Navi has to physically walk through the internet.
And let me tell you, in this game, physically walk to the internet is a nightmare.
Yes, it is.
I can not wait until we're done with this game, and I can then play Mega Man Battle Network 2, where everything is just squares on an isometric grid, because that's all you need. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do all this shit that they're doing in this game.
Okay, so that one part, the last traffic section, where you have to do 4 of the lights in a row. Like, you have to do, like, several of the switches, and like, you keep cutting back. I didn't realize we were supposed to be hitting those switches on the way, and so I went through the whole thing, got to the last one, it's like, no, this isn't, you need to do them in order, and you can't jack out. You can't just leave and re-enter at the start. So I had to then backtrack all the way through it to the first signal switch.
Oh my god.
And do them over again.
And we having random battles all the way,
and some of those random battles are annoying.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting for me to have to go to Game Shark codes this quickly, but I turned it on last week with Stone Man's dungeon because it's stupid and crosses over itself, and the only hint they give you is like, up is where Stone Man is, down is somewhere else, but both paths have both up and down, and I was getting so lost, and there were so many random battles that I put on a Game Shark code to turn them off. But as soon as I'm like, I feel like I've done enough of these battles, I'm over it, and I turn it off so I can finish the dungeon, because they're just fucking everywhere.
I have not done
I've been
any
tempted to
coding.
find a way to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, in future games, in addition to not having the weird, horrible labyrinth of the internet, it's also blocked off in, like, you get access to new parts every so often. And they did that at the start of this game, but, like, after, I would say basically after the Stone Man section, or after, like, you basically get access this episode to most of the internet. And you can go really deep into it if you keep going, and the random battles just get harder and harder, and this is a Final Fantasy. If you get a game over, go back to your save file, motherfucker. You better save frequently.
It's funny because, like, when you fight Gutsman and you delete Gutsman, there's at one point there's an explanation that there's a backup. So couldn't it just be like, if you fail a battle, maybe like it's just like you jack out?
Yeah.
And you restore a backup and then you go back in. Yeah. That would make sense diegetically.
Yeah, but Mega Man's a special boy, so when he dies, he dies. He's dead.
And also, Mega Man has to be punishing because it's Mega Man.
Yeah.
It's true. That is the history. Also, this week we get access to another thing where we could get access to armor upgrades, which are one of the light attempts at customization this first game. Basically, every other game in the series does a lot more with stuff like this. This time around, it's just a thing that makes it so you take half damage from everything except the weakness of the kind of armor. So there's like wood armor, so you'll still take regular damage from fire attacks. Or you have fire armor, you'll take regular damage from water attacks. But like, you know, it's really expensive. I guess worth getting. Shrug.
I was very disappointed that it didn't change Mega Man's outfit color in battle.
I think it does in future games.
Thing.
I remember
in later games it does.
That makes sense, because that's how Mega Man works.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's still blue. That's weird.
Also, when I was making my notes, I was using a LP archive playthrough to like get to where to like re-catch me up, because I did this like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Apparently I missed a unique scene, and I'm kind of glad I missed it. So apparently at this one like hyper specific point in the plot, like when you've done X but you haven't done Y yet sort of situation. I don't even remember what the specifics are. You can go back to Mail's house and go into her bedroom, and she is like behind the ladder of her bed, and if you talk to her, she's apparently changing clothes and is like, Lan, what the fuck are you doing? Leave, and calls him a pervert. And I'm like, why is this in the game? Why is this in the game? Her sprite is normal. There's no indication that that's happening, except the dialogue.
Yeah.
Why would they do this?
Also, I'm going to share with you both now another thing this is what I found while playing through this. I don't know when this character shows up in Dentown, but a little girl shows up who speaks in... This is like a 6-year-old child who speaks in fucking like 60s hippie speech.
It's so good.
And tries to convince you to give her a specific set of chips. And it's like the options are groovy and no way.
Oh wow, total bummer, dude.
No way. Oh wow, total bummer, dude. And she asks like, can you score me those? Can you score me a shotgun? I was playing this before we recorded with two of my partners hanging out with me, and they were unanimous in the agreement. This girl, this is an undercover cop. That's the only explanation.
Yeah. Man, I love the writing in this game. It's so weird, but in a delightful way.
It is.
Trish, I'm surprised you mentioned unlocking the rest of the internet without saying that the last section of the internet is opened by a hot goth chick who runs an antique shop.
Oh yeah,
you're right. There is the hot goth chick who has Skullman.exe. Who let me just look, because I forget which game Skullman is from.
And there's also Sal, who has Woodman.
Sal has Woodman. Woodman, of course, is I think Mega Man 2.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up. I just read. Well, there's also next week we'll be getting a third member of that kind of little trio of characters, and he has Sharkman. Sharkman is not from any numbered Mega Man game. Sharkman is from DOS. Yeah, that's from DOS. Here's the thing.
Amazing.
I love this about Mega Man. I love that they don't forget. Like, the DOS games are canon, and they're different from the normal Mega Man games and have different characters. That's so good. Wait. Skullman is from 4. Woodman is from 2. Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh, I went to Skullman's Mega Man knowledge base page, and it was like video game appearances, Mega Man 4, then Mega Man 3, and I was like, what? But then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that there's the handheld line, which is the same names, but with Roman numerals instead of... I think in Japan they're called like Rockman World or something.
Vaguely sounds right. I don't remember.
Yeah, they're called Rockman World in Japan, so that helps differentiate them.
Yeah. Also we should say something I did not notice until one of my partners was watching me play and had to start commenting on it. Some of they don't have a lot of space to describe what the chips do.
Yeah.
And the way they use that space is very funny. I found out, here's a big pro tip about Higsby's chip shop. That one that's the super exchanger where you can give 10 chips to get 1 random chip and it's more likely to be a good rare one. If you save state outside of it without having talked to it and just reload over and over again as you give it chips and see what you get, it'll get, like, you could just do that with no punishment. There's no autosave or anything.
Yeah.
Like later games in the series have. And so I was able to get Skullman 3s. You could get Navi chips out of it.
Yep.
I don't know why. Skullman 3's thing is big skull attack on one enemy.
Nice.
And I also kept going until I got Anubis, which is a ridiculously good chip. I just looked at it. I wasn't sure about using it because it just says set Anubis statue to reduce HP. What does that mean? The answer is it puts down a statue in front of you that enemies can destroy. But until they do, it will release poison on the enemy side of the field that will be constantly killing them. It will wipe out viruses if they do not take it out. It's so good.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Like I was prepared to use save states to do it, but then I saw that it doesn't have an autosave. So this is definitely something I could have done back in the day to just get like base this early in the game. Why not? This early, we're 2/3 of the way through, but you know what I mean.
I was so disappointed when I got like roll 2 and tried to put her in my deck or folder or whatever it's called, and it said you can only put 5 Navi cards in your deck, and I was like, oh man, but they're so good.
They're so good. They know it. They're good though. That's why they make the restriction.
So I took Number Man out to put roll 2 in because I'm keeping roll 1.
Good choice. I want to check because I don't know if you can get the base chip from the chip.
I only know that you can because they did it in the LP, and so when I saw that you can, I was like,
he
oh,
did.
Do it.
He did, but he then said, "I don't." He also used a thing that filled out his whole library and said he had every chip, and he wondered if that's why it gave it to him. So okay. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I see that now. Where he's like, this isn't normally in the game. You had to attend a promotional event to get it. Yeah, I was just scrolling through, saw that he was cheating, and then I saw it there. So I won't save Scum until I get it, but I will probably save Scum and get me some good shit. Because one thing that I enjoy, but also stupid hate about this game is like sword attacks always do 80 damage, and sword enemies use sword attacks. So when you get to the section and you have like one fire sword, two long sword enemies, if you get hit, you fucking die because your memory up available at this point is not that high, and it's like you get one chance to fuck up, and they have a ton of health to get rid of, and it's stupid hard for just a random battle, and yeah, I hate it. Like why can't I do 80 damage and they do like 15? That would be nice, but no, you're on a surprisingly even footing with the random enemies in this game, and that's really cool.
Also,
it is. I do like it.
I find that, you're going around, you jack into a random thing, and then you're like, oh, here's a power-up. And I'm like, what? This was just laying here? This is not a plot critical area at all. I could have just missed this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's getting all the power-ups is kind of difficult. It's kind of like getting all the heart pieces in a Zelda game.
Yeah. Just laying around are power-ups and HP memories and 5,000 Zenny.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy shit.
It doesn't ever, like, I don't think anyone in the game tells you about this, and the vibe you get from the game is just, oh, this is a cool little thing, but everything remotely electronic has a tiny quote-unquote dungeon in it, and they have one randomly generated item and one good item. So they're all your treasure chests. So you should be running up to anything that sparkles and pressing the R button.
You should be pressing R on literally everything, trying to find anything you can jack into. At this point in the game, I have gotten enough power-ups that my power on my Mega Buster is maxed, my rapid is maxed, and I put 1 into charge. So I'm doing 5 damage very fast, and I don't charge because I don't use it. And I have like 520 HP now.
Man, when I got my first power-up and I used it on power, and my regular blasts went from doing 1 to 2, I felt like a god.
Oh, it's a huge.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the Paper Mario thing. It's
Yeah.
the numbers are increments are small, which makes them huge.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of being able to jack into everything, in the antique shop there is a giant pot
Mhm.
that you
Yeah.
can jack into, and it turns out it is an air purification system disguised as a pot. And
Yes,
all
there's
the,
a lot of those kind of things.
And the programs in there are like, I bet you thought you couldn't jack into this. And I'm like, well, I obviously did because I tried. But yeah, and they talk about how, like, we keep the humidity correct so that the antiques aren't damaged. And I'm like, there is so much weird stuff in this game. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I was talking with my parents about this, and I need to ask you both. Do you think, is this the first, because this is basically a deck builder, is this the first deck builder action RPG?
I don't know a whole lot about deck builder action RPGs.
I feel like deck builder, just as its own kind of genre, wasn't as much of a thing outside of like literal card game adaptations for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I don't know, because I can't think of that kind of thing on things before the Game Boy Advance, and the Game Boy Advance, this was a launch game for it, so...
Yeah.
But again, I'm not terribly familiar with that genre, but
yeah, it is 3 years before Chain of Memories, which is the first time I ever ran into anything like that. But I would have to look. I know there are a lot of card-based like deck builder Dragon Ball Z games. Specifically, there's one for the Game Boy Color I played back in the day, but I don't remember if it's action at the same time or if it's turn-based. I would have to do a deep dive. That is an interesting factoid, and now I'm going to research until I figure it out.
Awesome. I'm glad I infected you with it.
We talked an awful lot today about Pokemon and having digital avatars that completely don't make sense if you know anything about how a computer works. So I was thinking, after we beat this game next week, we should probably play either Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2, or Digimon's Story Cyber Sleuth and Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory as our next block. What do you guys think? Do you think we should have more of this?
Yes.
Absolutely. Because I love Pokemon and I've never interacted with Digimon, so I think it'll be a wild time for me either way.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of Digimon anime. I don't know shit about the games, and I have been hearing great things about Cyber Sleuth. This and Black and White are some of my favorite Pokemon games, so this is a poll where truly I am happy with either outcome.
Yeah.
I might be a little more excited if it's Pokemon, but like whatever the fans choose, I will abide.
I obviously am putting my finger on the scale for Digimon, just because the final dungeon of the second game of the Digimon Cyber Sleuth duology is one of the coolest things I've ever seen anyone do in an anime JRPG, basically ever. And you have to play 2 long-ass games to get there. So if I can share that with at least you two, I will be so happy, because I don't want to spoil it in case someone ever does it, but I also can't expect people to play 2 giant fucking RPGs to get there. So
I think personally I would be very happy with Pokemon, because I haven't played Gen 5 in a very long time, and I would be very happy to revisit it. But also, I am interested to finally learn anything about Digimon. And I've seen a lot of people say that Cyber Sleuth is a good place to start if you've never interacted with Digimon.
Yeah.
So
it's a great place to start because it's a Shin Megami Tensei game that has Agumon in it, and it's cool.
And also, I would be happy to finally get into Digimon because Time Stranger, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, just like right now we're playing through Mega Man Battle Network, and we're like, oh, this is so much fun. I can't wait till we go to the good ones after that. As good as I think Cyber Sleuth is, Time Stranger is just like mind-blowingly fantastic. And so after we finish those, you can go in and play the good ones. So
yeah, I remember during some event, some State of Play or something, they showed the first trailer for Time Stranger, and I was just losing my mind. And then it was at the end, it was like Digimon, and I was like, "What? This is Digimon?"
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, I'm very excited. Even though I'm most excited for Digimon, and I want that to be the one that y'all vote for, and I'm being completely obvious about it. Gen 5 is my favorite gen of Pokemon, and it's not close. So whichever you pick, I will be over the moon excited to be doing notes for it. Because of course I would be doing notes for the next one. So cannot wait. The poll will be up by the time that you guys hear this. And if you want to vote on that poll, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us offset the cost of running the show. And if you donate $1 or more a month, you can vote on the polls. You will also get access to our bonus feed, which has after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia, the Escape Pod, and the JRPG Canon. And if you up your donation to $5 or more each month, you can become one of our warriors and get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shouts to Dragon Slayer 19, Freddie Rodriguez, and J-Fro Prime. And then if you really, really love us and you want to be one of our luminaries, you can donate $20 or more a month and get a short one-sentence shout-out or advert read at the end of each episode, kind of like this. Shoutouts to Kale Dranas, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie hype and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. Shoutouts to Vimk, who says, I'm not that done, Iclamine, she said. Threaten a house official, and I wouldn't make toilet wiper in the cohort. And then shoutouts to It's Claire Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.